It's 8 p.m. Welcome to the City Newsroom. My name is Freme Dunyame.
And my name is Nathan Carl. Coming up, Electoral Commission announces dates for referendum on new regions at IPAC meeting as the NDC raises questions about the new chair of the Electoral Commission.
Economist denounces Unibank's position that government indebtedness to the banks led to the collapse of them.
We'll also bring you a report on how cocoa farmers are making ends meet in the growers, the nation's cash crop.
Also coming up, minority in Parliament write to the International Monetary Fund on government's $2 billion barter agreement with Sino Hydro Corporation of China.
And as communities cry for more health facilities across the country, City News visits Diabene in the Western region, where a new chips compound has become a white elephant.
We'll now take the details. The Bunahafo Regional Branch of the Ghana National Association of Garages has given a 3-day ultimatum to all foreigners engaged in retail magazine
in the Ashanti region for government to sack all foreign retailers in the enclave. My colleague in the Brongahafo region, Michael Nfum Sapong, has more in this report.
The Brongahafo Regional Branch of the Ghana National Association of Garages has membership of about 5,000 persons across the region. According to the members, the activities of foreigners engaged in retail business are collapsing their jobs. They reveal that all efforts to stop the foreigners engaged in the illegal retail business have not been fruitful. They noted that life is becoming extremely difficult for them because of what is happening.
Now we can make sales because of what they are doing. Instead of them to do supplying, they are doing retailing. And the retailing is for Ghanaians. That is our argument. We are not saying that they should go. They are our brothers. Our argument is that the law says the retailing are for Ghanaians. That is what we are demanding. We are not chasing anybody out. What we are demanding is our right. Our right to take care of our families. Our right to take care of ourselves. That is what we are demanding. What is the government doing? Came here, collecting taxes. That is all they are doing. Instead of them to take care of us, no.
Our capital is collapsing and our businesses too are collapsing. It has affected our business. So the government should come and intervene.
The law says foreigners shouldn't do retail, so that we are appealing to the government for them to do their supply, and then as Ghanaians should do our retail. So please, we are appealing to the government. Our job is collapsing, so we are appealing to him, all the ministers, like for a trade minister, to stop our brothers to do retailing.
Addressing a press conference in Sunyani, the association urged foreigners engaged in the retail business to stop or they will close down their shops themselves. They noted that the association has no problem with foreigners engaged in wholesale business. All foreigners engaged in the retail business are to close down their shops by Friday, August 24, 2018. Pastor Eric Asari spoke on behalf of the association.
From today onwards, we want all shops of foreigners to shut down up till Friday. If not so, we will advise ourselves to come up with a serious demonstration against every foreigner working within magazine. We know there is difference between retailing and wholesaling. So if you see any foreigner retailing, we will do all what it takes. We won't harm anybody, but the law will take its course.
The Ghana National Association of Garages, Brongahafo Regional Branch, has given an ultimatum to foreigners engaged in the retail business to put an end to their businesses by Friday, August 24, or they'll close down their shops. For City News, I am Michael Saponifum reporting.
Let's get to the Western region, where a 5-room chips compound for Diabene community built from the Sikado Ketan Member of Parliament's share of the Health Insurance Fund has become a white elephant after its completion in May this year. While health personnel say the old chips compound is unfit for health delivery, The community is also expected to renew the rent for the dilapidated two-room structure that the community is currently using. City News' Akwesi Ejenim has more in this report.
The Diabene community is a suburb of the Sekanita Kwade metropolis. Due to the poor nature of roads in this community, residents rather find it convenient accessing healthcare from this two-room rented apartment chip compound instead of traveling to Efiankwanta Hospital. However, this CHIPS compound is currently a nightmare for health personnel.
We do both OPD cases and delivery here. So we have a midwife here. We are facing so many challenges here. We are living here with mice and other insects, and also we don't have urinal, we don't have toilets, we don't have pipe. For example, because we don't have urinal and toilet ourselves, we go at the bush there to go and use ourselves there. And also when we want to urinate, we go at the back of the facility to urinate there. And these are some of the challenges that we are facing here.
As a solution to this challenge, the MP for Esikado Ketan, Joe Gatti, from his share of the National Health Insurance Fund, financed this new 5-room CHIPS compound for the community, but the facility hasn't been finished for use for months, to the dismay of residents.
Problem I was there. Aban we say amaheni. Your equipment are man nurse for no. Ube here what I eat more. Na sisi adada ono. By ada yetu yaka afibiara. Na adana ankasa sukwako eshiwo man nurse for no watinema wontum kra. Old one ye renti. Nti sisi anunti na yeba new one. August yala ending yala. Renti no waso. Yempede yebotu efofo biolo. So far as a new one abana yamen, yepede ye move to new one. Intina yenya abanim bwede ye yengwa na ati owo officer na yalfo suba wenye baby atina.
The MP for Esikado Ketan, while admitting the handing over of the health facility, indicated that it is up to the Sekanita Kwade Metro Health Directorate to decide the next step.
I don't even know the equipment that is needed. There's somebody will say, oh, but everybody knows what is done in the hospital. No, I'm a lawyer. I know my limits. You don't get involved in things. So the process is that if it is not finished, or if there's something to do, she must then write to me, and then we take it from there. Or the community can write to me. We've seen people on Public Accounts Committee. I don't want to appear there.
Meanwhile, the Sekanita Kwade Metro Open Governance Project team, which has been interacting with Diabene residents on its medium-term plans, are sure to follow up on the health concerns of the community.
This platform is one way of educating the citizenry and also giving them the avenue to understand the governance processes of the assembly. The key issue that came up is that the facility lacked all the ancillary equipment that will help the facility to function effectively. So the platform has opened the gateway for us to further discuss with the key stakeholders to, enable us to find solution to it so that the facility will be put to use.
For City News, I am Akwesi Ejenim, Diabene.
Now, away from health, the National Democratic Congress minority in Parliament has petitioned the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank over the $2 billion infrastructure agreement entered between the government and Sino Hydro Corporation Limited of China. The minority is challenging the position of the government that the deal is a barter agreement that will allow Ghana trade refined bauxite for infrastructure, especially roads, bridges, interchanges, hospitals, housing and rural electrification. Now, my colleague Duke Mensa Opoku, who is our parliamentary correspondent, has joined us in the studio to make us understand this better. Thank you very much, Duke. Welcome to City Newsroom.
Thank you, Frema.
Right, so we have come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's trace our steps backwards. Run us through the genesis of this whole deal.
Okay, so last year in July, Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia, doctor, went to China on a visit, and when he came back, there was a package, a $15 billion package, as part of which government was going to leverage some parts of the country's resources to China to get some money for infrastructure development. So this $2 billion infrastructure deal between government and Sino-Hydro deal is actually flowing from that visit and that agreement, that leveraging agreement, which was agreed to last year when the vice president went to China and came back. So really, that is what this flows from that. This $2 billion Sino-Hydro bauxite agreement with the government of Ghana flows from that. So what exactly is into the $2 billion, deal? So government is saying that this is a barter agreement. Simply put, we are getting to by way of infrastructure, hospitals, housing units, bridges, and these projects are spread over the length and breadth of this country. I mean, so for instance, Tamale, there's going to be the construction of an interchange at a place called Point 7. Kumasi, the asphalting of roads and building of some roads in the Ashanti region, Bono Afro region, all across the country. Also housing units, some hospital infrastructure and others are going to be put up by this $2 billion infrastructure. And in exchange of that, government of Ghana is supposed to give Sino-Hydro bauxite, alumina or aluminium. So it's a bit open up. Unlike previous instances where government went for loans and as collateral, we gave up raw materials, just raw material. For instance, in the case of the Bui Dam, we had to put up cocoa. And in the case of the Atuabo gas plant, we had to give up oil. In this case, it's either bauxite, which is the raw material, or semi-finished, which is alumina, or finished product, aluminium. So these three variations of bauxite is what can be given in exchange or in barter for this $2 billion infrastructure that we are getting from China or Sino-Hydro. Right, but you're aware that there are concerns already regarding some of the reserves that we are going to be mining the bauxite from. So what exactly is government's response to this? Well, about 3 weeks ago, that's exactly some 2 days after the Master Support Project Agreement was passed by Parliament on the 29th of July. On 31st, there was a press conference that was addressed by Information Minister nominee. Then he was Deputy Information Minister Kujo Oponkuma. And he stated that the country had bauxite reserves of about 2 billion metric tons. And as we were speaking then on the matter of weeks, the consultants from government and from government partners were going around the country on a validation exercise of the bauxite that we had. And indeed, under this agreement, every year about 2 million, we have $1 billion, but 2 million every year in terms of bauxite or alumina or aluminium, in terms of the metric tons of our bauxite deposits, we're going to go out as part of this deal. And in doing that, the government was going to ensure that the best ecological practice or the best and the most environmentally friendly means are used to extract or mine these bauxite from the various reserves in the country. So with regards to the concerns from the environmentalists and those who are protesting, especially with regards to the Tiwa forest, that's what government had to say to them, that the best possible ecological means and environmentally friendly means will be applied to extract the bauxite, really. Right, so let's come to the minority. What is in the letter that they are sending to IMF? So really, this letter that is addressed to Natalia Koliadina, who is the permanent representative of the IMF representative to Ghana, it's a 7-point letter that essentially, if you sat in the gallery and observed the debate as it was, unfolding on the floor of Parliament, is really an extension of the debate that went on the floor of the House. On that day, the minority argued that if you look at the Master Project Support Agreement, it had elements of interest, had elements of repayment period, and others. And so because of that, it was clearly a loan that government was going for. But the majority side, the likes of Dr. Akoto Osei, Dr. Asibe Yeboah and co, on the side of the majority, rebutted the argument and said that, well, this is just a barter agreement. We are giving up our bauxite, alumina, aluminium in exchange for infrastructure. So it doesn't in any way qualify as a loan, and that these conditions were there because Sino-Hydro was going for the money at commercial rates to give to government so that they could get the bauxite in exchange. And so really, the 7-point letter says that because Ghana is currently under an IMF program, an Extended Credit Facility Program, ECF program, a part of that includes a certain debt sustainability analysis that must be done for our economy. So they want to seek clarification from IMF if whether this agreement qualifies as a barter or it's really a loan, which will add on to the country's debt stock and has implications for our economic structure and our debt sustainability as a country. So really, that is what is a question that they are seeking per what is on point 4 of the letter that they wrote to the IMF representative.
Right, so what happens next?
Well, the minority is yet to speak publicly. I mean, I must say that this letter was leaked to the media. It was reported by a newspaper this morning. We've done further checks, and indeed, this letter was written and then, I mean, forwarded or copied to a couple of, I mean, government agencies and the rest. We wait in the coming days for the minority to speak to it. I mean, people are wondering why, if they would want to seek further clarification or even look at this deal in other lights, they didn't use the courts for redress and other things like that. So, I mean, I'm sure very soon Parliament will be coming back on September 10th, and we'll get to know more. And probably it was signed by the minority leader and the minority spokesperson on finance. So probably the two of them should be willing to speak to this.
Right, so we'll wait to see what happens. Thank you very much, Duke, for your time. Right, so that was my colleague, Duke Mensah Opoko, our parliamentary correspondent, bringing us up to speed with the Sino-Hydro deal and also the concerns of the minority to IMF. Now, moving on, the Ghana commenced investigations in property running into thousands of Ghana cedis. Reports say the soldiers in the company of 3 police officers allegedly destroyed a wall under construction, scattered the mixed mortar and seized the equipment from the workers on site. One of the military officers who allegedly claimed ownership of the land later reported the incident to the police with her colleagues. City News has picked up information that the said officers are currently under investigations. You're still watching City Newsroom live on City TV. Coming up, Electoral Commission announces dates for referendum on new regions at IPAC meeting as the NDC raised questions about the new chair of the Electoral. We'll be right back with more. Don't go away.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guest, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
I said, property tax, I will pay. If you come to my house, I'll cut you a check. But when did I do my presentation? February?
Yes.
Or February, yes, sometime. Nobody has come to my house.
Really?
Ghana is broke. And, you know, that's the reality we must all come to live with.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
Go.
Hello and welcome to another day, another week, and of course another episode of 30 Minutes. We're excited and we will be talking about all the trending conversations.
Spend 30 minutes every weekday catching up with all the trending social media conversations. We might just even Skype you.
No, Shatta, why are you being so raw and hard like that? But at that particular time, that's what I want to be. But that doesn't mean, and we'll give respect to each other. But sometimes I feel, you know, when we are all humans. When somebody says something about me, Shatta, hey, no, I might want to say something. Yeah. So, but when I say it, people shouldn't take it like taking things, you know, personal and stuff. I've understood showbiz now, and I really want to work on it. Like
30 minutes is all it takes, so use the hashtag 30minutes on social media to catch our attention. Join the most interactive social media TV show weekdays at 5 p.m. only on City TV.
Hi, welcome back to the City Newsroom live on City TV. My name is Nathan Carr. Let's stay with politics. And the main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, earlier today boycotted the first inter-party advisory committee meeting under the new leadership of the Electoral Commission. According to the General Secretary of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the boycott was as a result of a short notice given to them. The meeting, among other things, discussed the tentative schedule for the limited voter registration exercise and referendum for new regions scheduled for December 27 this year. There's more in the following report.
The Inter-Party Advisory Committee earlier today held its first meeting under the leadership of the new chairpersons of the Electoral Commission. The meeting, among other things, discussed the plans for the limited voter registration exercise as well as the tentative plan for the referendum for new regions. The meeting had representation from political parties such as the ruling New Patriotic Party, the Convention People's Party, the United Front Party, People's National Convention, and the Progressive People's Party. A key highlight of the meeting, however, was the absence of the major opposition party, the National Democratic Congress. In an interview with City News, General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, explained that the NDC did not attend the meeting because they were not properly invited.
I came to the office this morning and there was no letter. I thought that, well, maybe they have sent a letter to my office and then were trying to confirm with, remind me with a text message. So we had arranged a meeting already with our Council of Elders. In the middle of that meeting, at exactly 14 minutes after midday, then the messenger came from the Electoral Commission to deliver a letter of invitation. This time round, different from the text message, which gives every indication that this is something that has just been prepared and backdated. It was backdated to 20th. Now telling us about agenda and not calling it emergency meeting. And yet we're given 46 minutes to prepare and attend that invitation letter in appropriate terms.
He indicated that the manner in which the meeting was organized reaffirms claims by the NDC that the new commission was constituted for ulterior motives.
It reinforces our impression that these commissioners were appointed to prosecute an agenda in favor of MPP. These are the pieces of evidence that are emerging.
Some political parties, however, expressed concerns about the absence of the NDC without prior notice.
We look at the number of people who are supposed to form the membership of today's meeting, and it is very clear that we form more than a quorum, and that is what matters. Yes, the NDC, we can't take it from them. They are the largest opposition as we speak now, so their input would have been very appreciated. Unfortunately, as we speak now, we haven't had any communication from them as to why they couldn't make it.
I don't know what would have happened if the NDC had been present, but the NDC was not, and visibly so, because no one represented the party at this first meeting. We don't know why. An offer of apologies for being absent was not submitted to the EC, so they were not able to gave us an explanation for their absence.
Meanwhile, Director of Communications at the Electoral Commission, Eric Jakpasu, while outlining the outcome of the meeting, considered that the short notice given out for the meeting could explain for the NDC's absence.
NDC has not officially communicated to us why they couldn't attend the meeting anyway, but I had an interview with Asempa and I was doing a discussion with their national organizer, Mr. Kofi Adams, and he lamented about the short notice that was given, and that they had a hard copy of the letter just this afternoon, as a result of which they could not prepare adequately to attend the meeting.
Reporting for City News, Hansen Ajeman.
And my colleague Sixtus Dono has joined me in the studio to discuss this story into detail. Hello, Sixtus, good evening. Welcome to the City Newsroom.
Good evening, Nathan.
First of all, Sixtus, why did the NDC not show up? We've heard all kinds of reasons, but what exactly is the and why were they not there today?
Sure. And he talks about the
time of notice for the meeting, which of course it's important for any particular meeting that you give people prior notice, sufficient notice at that, so they are able to prepare themselves and to attend. But if you also look at the way the communication came from the Electoral Commission, it was given to all the political parties as an emergency meeting that to attend.
Okay.
The Electoral Commission.
Yes.
What has happened, looking at the fact that this is supposed to happen, they are supposed to put the house in order, major activities that are up for the convene the meeting at all costs. So if you noticed, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission herself wasn't even present, and so the meeting was chaired or not. The NDC disagrees. They say the first thing that the upon recall them acquaint themselves with the new members been sworn in.
Okay.
But well, as to whether the NDC is bent on proving push and pull they had with the president new members to the commission, we cannot tell for now. But we know that they are aggrieved or they are peeved. We know that they are not really happy with the particular meeting that was held today. Or the other an emergency meeting, you would expect them to show up with outcomes. Very important issues. The 2000 meeting, you know, the processes for the creation of new regions began, yes. And that's why some of the people that we have, the watchers of the democracy that we have spoken to, they say if the party really should have taken the step to attend this particular factors or various, if the NDC at email, they will have even bigger problems. And so from the communication, from the interaction that we have had with various representatives of various political parties who were at this particular meeting, the districts that are found within supposed to created for them. Now it is the process, and that's why they have to get themselves onto the voter register.
Okay.
The new thing we are probably seeing will be the online. All the people would be able to be involved, to get involved in this particular process, considering internet connectivity and other concerns. But we cannot speak to that for now until we see the strategy with which the committee this particular item out. People, the new just turned 18.
Okay.
They turned 18 after the last elections. They were not part of the process. They have to. We have to make room for these, so that for them. Now, the continuous voter registration is for the people who were already in the system but have not found themselves into the voter registration. This would be in October. Room for persons who would for school-related reasons. I need to be in Accra. I have to vote in Accra. When the time is due, the Commission will make the opportunity for me to be able to transfer my vote from my original. I can cast my vote. So there will be that opportunity. Proxy voting. Is there is that have gone on with the Commission that was mandated with seeking opinions on this particular topic? Okay. That is the issue of creating new regions. So these were the critical decisions that were taken at this particular meeting.
Of course, from what you're saying, these are big ticket matters. So now that these decisions have been taken, how bound will the NDC be? People who get to be part of the voters register, i.e. those who just turned 18, those who have never voted, transfer voting, proxy voting. Of course, the NDC will have a share in of those numbers. How binding will these decisions be on the party, since it was not at the meeting anyway?
Meeting, okay. Because you're expected to go ahead with the meeting, and it is expected that whatever decision is taken at that particular meeting affects the entire house or the whole house, irrespective of who was present, who was not present. But the nature by which the bound by that particular decision.
Okay.
Now the electoral to ensure all in our electoral before the decisions that eventually affect the electoral process are taken, so that at the end of the day, everyone would be able to present at this particular meeting. But
you think will be the next step now that how do you envisage the next?
The NDC even know that they were going to organize a demonstration. The whole
former vice
president, what they are going to do. Okay. We can only say that we can only hope that cool heads would prevail. We can only hope that there's
more detail into the NDC commission. Let's move on to some other stories, and tomorrow the hearing of an injunction application
High Court to challenge the decision of the school's management to convert all traditional. This means that with effect from the 2008 would be mixed halls. Several demonstrations have been held to protest the move. Some students petitioned the school's chancellor, Asante Hene Otumfuo Osei. They appealed to Otumfuo to direct a full solution to the impasse. The adjournment of the injunction application against the school is to allow lawyers for the plaintiffs respond to the university, which has also filed another application. Hence, ahead, speaking to journalists, that justice will be served in the matter.
We hope and believe that justice should be served, because at this stage what we are seeking for is for the status of some people. They weren't properly thought through. Before, Africa Hall was not part of this whole convention policy. After we found a traditional hall. So it's saying that if that is what is the very moment we came to court, not on the day after the matter is determined and we look at that when we get to that matter is finally determined, we'll see where the matter will end.
Economist Dr. Eric Osei has dismissed claims that have been revoked, having said, but speaking at a forum on the banking sector.
The affected banks have included claims that the central bank and administrators so sector, but Dr.
adequacy ratio will shoot up, so they not as
cities as at 2017 to address all outstanding issues that will prevent a recurrence of the collapse of banks.
Depending on what comes out, and then of course there is criminal procedure that can go on. So in short, to begin with, we start.
Lawyer Ace Anan Ankuma believes persons found
another law. We need to enforce the law. Because might look at it and say, oh, they were just smart.
Of 5 local
businesses of people.
Event consultancy, the central bank could only implement a residential sector.
Yes, the current governor of the Bank of Ghana is not the one who has determined what these are recommendations that on paper since 2015-16 and should have been implemented.
Live on CCTV. Don't go anywhere. When we come back.
Tune in to The Point of View. Bring the right guest. Ask them the rental.
And has more in the following report on Ghana's cocoa sector.
The policy of the Eastern region are over.
Mine's training is a wood when you to be bread.
Long time I started cocoa farm.
Okay, so like how many years?
Yes, but it's, I don't have any rig. Anyway, I have addition.
Apong Emmanuel is one of 15 pollination agents who has been hired by governments to ago. They have not received a dime.
Anytime be on how much I say beba mu say beba do e krum abran so ade 15
of cocoa in the area also has this to say.
Ajuma ani ajuma no kranke. Esa omunyan start ajuma. Ne boy den pa bibe 1.2 ebi methete Ghana ni ade.
He would not be able to take
any abeni they already compose in there abeno utsika wo musin koko the obeka say koko utsika wo musin abe kesia any chemicals or nothing be on
adding but my problems because
after years of growing cocoa in the country
our people, the need arises. There will always be pressures. Not everybody keep in his lane. Your territory will encroach. All right, you bring land guard, and then they'll build on your land. Change radically. If you, I would have thought that no.
Welcome to join women from different backgrounds on your relationship issues, finances, and more. And her sisters for City TV's